Very few are beyond redemption, ourselves included. Welcome back to the Knights of Awakening. I'm Justin Bain. I'm going to share a couple of axioms with you right off the bat here. The first one is Ashla Axiom 100. No one is beyond redemption. And this may be true, perhaps in the truest sense of the word. For most, forgiveness can set them and yourself free. For some, redemption is only to be had in the afterlife. Another axiom that ties into this is axiom number 141. In your dealings with the corrupt, do not cast them aside. Awaken them with words, elevate them with deeds, and repay injury with kindness. Do not cast them, but their corruption aside. We are all capable of failing and falling. Those very corruptions that we stand against could take hold in each of us if we are not vigilant. Lift your fellows up. Do not keep them down. You never know when you may need help up yourself. Can the corrupt and quote-unquote evil be redeemed? Can those labeled as criminals be reformed? This is a question that society has asked for as long as time has existed, more than likely. At least I think so. I know it is a question that is asked even now. We see it on the news every day. We see it in courtrooms across the country, across the world for that matter. In the world we live in, punishments are handed out in vastly different ways. There does not seem to be consistency in how punishments are handed out, but instead, consistency is usually only found in what people around the world would consider a crime. Some places are much harsher than others. In some places, people are put to death or maimed for seemingly minor infractions like stealing, adultery, things like that. Corruption is found in every corner of the world as well. Greed, the hunger for power, or looking to advance oneself or their agenda are all pretty typical reasons why someone would become corrupt in the first place, or that leads to their corruption. Where are the more obvious places where we find corruption? Public servants, politicians, businesses, and some religion, just to name a few. I would say that the axioms that I introduced speak to both internal and external corruption, though. Today, I'd like to focus on mainly the internal corruption that each of us are faced with from time to time while we walk our respective paths. External corruption is the outcome of internal corruption, in my eyes. If you're corrupt at your core, you're going to be corrupt outside of yourself. It is the part we can see once this poison has taken control of our thoughts and actions. Now, they could be on a small scale or a large scale. There are plenty of examples found within our human history, as well as today. We still see it today. What causes internal corruption? Well, for some, it's believed to be a byproduct of allowing negative emotions to control our temperament. Emotions such as fear, anger, jealousy, hate, and others that I'm sure each of you can name that I didn't list here. For others, it could be found in the 7 deadly sins. And still others, internal corruption comes from ignoring or negating the virtues that make a strong and steadfast moral compass, also known as the knightly virtues. One thing is for sure, most all traditions warn about the effects of these conditions and the peril they can lead a soul to if left unchecked. One thing I've noticed in all of the years of practice in teaching this path is that, on a very simple level, the biggest killer of those who are walking this and similar paths is that they lose patience within themselves. They get frustrated with themselves and they lose the will to continue. They lose the will to put in the hard work. They lose the will to find courage when it is needed most. They get so frustrated that they lack the courage, the will, and conviction to seek the right path instead of the easy one. I can certainly relate to this, as I am sure that most of you have faced this part of themselves as well. It is easy and tempting to want to take the easy road when faced with frustration, when progress in our studies and practices seem to elude us. I want to share a quote with you that I've used more times than I can count when I was faced with those times where I myself was becoming my own worst enemy. Have patience with all things, but chiefly have patience with yourself. Do not lose courage in considering your own imperfections, but instantly set out remedying them. Every day, begin this task anew. That was by St. Francis de Sales. For me, a knight has faith in what they hold to be true. Faith has a way of helping us past those weaknesses that we may perceive in ourselves. Whatever we may find ourselves believing, we believe it strongly because that is what keeps us going in the face of unbeatable odds. The path is long and the road is hard. Following your path is not a timed exercise. You will achieve hallmarks and find many awakenings along the way. These are merely road markers, or dots on your map. Do not concern yourself with how much time this journey will take you. Be faithful to the quest. Be faithful to the path. Be faithful to yourself. You will know when you have arrived. Very few in this world are undeserving of a chance at redemption. Luckily for us, we don't have to decide who is and who isn't. Serve all with compassion, humility, and mercy in mind. Do this and they will be the judge of themselves. Lift each other up with encouragement and hold each other accountable to one another. Commune with your fellows and you will be more enriched and empowered. Likewise, if you see a fellow fall flat, encourage them to rise up and be better than before. Do not cast them out. Instead, cast their corruption aside. Thank you so much for taking time to watch the video. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing to the channel. Like, share, and comment on this video, and head over to the KOA Facebook page and join in on the conversation there as well. I love you all very much, and until next time, awaken the night within.